Now the floor is given to Colonel Maksym Prauta, Minister of Defense of Ukraine spokesperson. Good afternoon, everyone. Now information about the situation at the line of confrontation during last 24 hours on the 27th of April and as of today's morning, the 28th of April. During last 24 hours, the militants of Russian occupation forces continued shelling of defense positions with calibers that are prohibited by the Minsk agreements. In the Lugansk sector, 3 precision enemy shellings were recorded. Right after midnight, for about 1 hour, the occupants delivered shelling of Ukrainian forces near Svetlodarsk with 120mm mortars and grenade launchers of different types. Until evening in the sector, relative calm was observed, but in the evening the occupants delivered 2 provocative shellings of the defenders of Krymsk. Starting from 7 p.m. the enemy launched here several mines using 82mm mortars and delivered fire with the use of IFV weaponry, grenade launchers, large caliber machine guns. After 11 p.m. until midnight the enemy launched at defenders of Krymsk 20 more mines using mortars of 120 and 82mm of calibers. And further, the situation was tense in the Donetsk sector, where Ukrainian defenders 50 times came under enemy fire. With mortars of 120 and 82mm of calibers, the occupants delivered shelling on our positions near Lebedinsk in the morning and in the afternoon near Vodyane. Enemy shellings with IFV weaponry were recorded near Talakivka and Pisky. Provocative shellings of positions of Ukrainian defenders with the use of large caliber machine guns, grenade launchers of different types and small arms were delivered by militants of Russian occupation forces near Pishevik, Opetne, Verkhnie Teretsке, Pisky, Bogdanivka, Nevelske, Pavlopil, Gnutove. Also 3 times on defenders of Krasnogorivka and Talakivka, 4 times in the direction of Dievka and 4 in the direction of Kamenka, 5 times near Marienka and Shirokina, 6 times on defenders of Butievka mine, and then 8 times on defenders of Vodyane. In the region of Marienka from 7 p.m. for 1 hour, enemy sniper delivered fire. On the whole, during the last 24 hours, on the 27th of April, 53 shellings of our defense positions delivered by militants of Russian occupation forces were recorded. At that, the occupants launched at our defenders about 50 mines using 120 and 82mm mortars. Using service infantry weapons that are not prohibited by the Minsk agreements in order to preserve lives and health of military personnel, our defenders more than 20 times returned fire. In the result of enemy shellings, 3 defenders were injured. They were brought to medical institutions for provision of qualified medical help. Health condition of all of the 3 defenders is satisfactory. Now, about the current situation today on the 28th of April, starting from midnight and as of 9, militants of Russian occupation forces delivered 10 precision shellings in the Lugansk sector. The occupants 4 times used mortars of different calibers. With the use of 120mm mortars, the enemy delivered shelling on defenders of Lugansk and Novatoshkivsk. Defenders of the latter also came under 82mm mortar fire. On the whole, as of 9 in the morning, the enemy launched at our positions more than 40 mines using 120 and 82mm mortars. In the Donetsk sector, as of today's morning, the enemy 6 times delivered long provocative shellings with use of grenade launchers of different types, large caliber machine guns and small arms in the direction of defenders of Talakivka, Gnutova, Shirokina, and on defenders of Butievka mine. In the result of enemy shellings, 1 Ukrainian defender was injured. He was brought to military mobile hospital, where he was provided with qualified medical help. His health condition is of mid-severity. According to information provided by President of AGO headquarters, specialists of Joint Center for Control and Coordination of the Issues of Ceasefire and Stabilization at the line of contact between the sides, they documented new facts of the shellings of Zaitsev and Bakhmutsky region by militants of Russian occupation forces. It was identified that fire on civil infrastructure was delivered by the enemy from Gorlivka and Golemsky from 9 till 9:45 on the 26th of April using 120mm mortars. And in the result of these shellings, utility constructions of the peaceful residents who live in Volогодsky and Shumsky Street were damaged, as well as electricity supply lines. Fortunately, no casualties among local population. This information was provided to SMM OECE. Ukrainian side of Joint Center assesses this shelling of civilian infrastructure delivered by militants as one more provocation to destabilize social situation at the line of confrontation, to force armed forces of Ukraine to return fire in order to further blame Ukrainian side in lack of capacity to adhere to undertaken obligations concerning comprehensive ceasefire. Ukrainian side of JCCC states that such actions of the leaders of occupation administration of Russian Federation show that they consciously and intentionally disregard all norms of international humanitarian law, and this poses direct threat to lives and health of civilians and cause material losses. And I would like to inform that on the official website of the Ministry of Defense, the information is provided about the special order that will come into effect after the announcement of the start of the joint forces operation in the territory of the Donetsk and Lugansk oblasts. This is all. Thank you.